Millions of deportees have arrived in western Afghanistan after being forced out of Iran with nothing but the clothes on their backs and uncertain about their future. With deportations from Iran already overwhelming local resources, the looming wave from Pakistan threatens to deepen the humanitarian crisis in western Afghanistan. Returnees report harassment, detainment and family separation, often without legal process. Women face an especially grim future under Taliban rule, stripped of education, work and basic freedoms. Aid agencies warn that border regions like Herat and Nimroz are overwhelmed. As Pakistan deports even registered refugees, Human Rights Watch urges UN action while critics point to the US limited response to the unfolding crisis. We have this report.
More than 1.2 million Afghans have been forcibly deported from Iran and Pakistan, with thousands arriving daily at key border points such as Islam Kala in western Afghanistan. Many return with nothing but the clothes on their backs, having had no time to prepare or gather belongings. Returnees report harassment, detention, and family separation during deportations, often without due legal process. In some cases, entire families have been split at the borders, leaving individuals uncertain about the whereabouts of their loved ones.
وضعیت والا تو همین یک ماه اخیر که ما تو ایران بودیم اصلا نمیشد که از خونه بیایم بیرون و تا می اومدیم بیرون یا با پلیس یا با سپاه یا با بسیج که برخورد میکردیم زد و برخوردهای میکردن، میزدن، اذیت میکردن، میبردن پاسگاه.
As deportation surged, Islam Kala became the focal point of emergency aid and logistics. At the peak, officials say between 30,000 and 50,000 people crossed back into Afghanistan in a single day. In a worrying escalation, Pakistan has now begun deporting registered Afghan refugees, including those holding proof of registration (POR) and Afghan citizen cards (ACC), a significant departure from earlier policies that focused on undocumented migrants. Pakistani authorities cite national security and demographic management as reasons, but rights groups argue the move violates international protections. However, rights groups and UN agencies warn the move violates international refugee protections and will deepen Afghanistan's humanitarian crisis.
با جوانا دست همدیگه رو بگیریم به قرآن کشور ما خوب میشه. 100 سال به شهرهای خارج اروپا بشیم قرآنی وطن ما نمیشه. وطن این خونمان و این مادرمان. فقط دست همدیگه رو بگیریم. فقط یک خواهش ازتون میکنم. الان ما خودم تو مشهد کار داشتم، زندگی، موتور، خانه. دیدم گشت آمد در مغازه آمد مثل سگ رفتار ما رو بزن، موتور بگیر، مغازه رو ببند.
According to a report by Khama Press, Pakistan will also begin deporting Afghan refugees starting September 1, 2025 as part of a broader crackdown of those holding expired temporary residency cards under its Illegal Foreigners Repatriation Plan (IFRP), following a decision by authorities during a high-level meeting held earlier. Officials have cited that the rising security concerns and increasing pressure on national resources as the key motivators behind the move. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees (UNHCR) announced that from the beginning of 2025 to August 1, more than 2.1 million Afghans have been deported from Iran and Pakistan. According to the report, from April 1 to the end of July alone, 1.4 million people were deported from Iran and over 303,000 from Pakistan to Afghanistan. Human Rights Watch has called on the United Nations and the international community to take urgent and concrete action to address the deepening human rights crisis in Afghanistan under the Taliban rule.
که څنګه چې تاسو ته معلومه ده په اول ورځ کې ډیر سخت حالات د 10,000 تر 15,000 کسانانو پر یو ورځ کې مهاجرین راغلل، خو بیا هم الحمدلله د دې خلکو ډوډۍ، دوا، غذا ټولو ته ورسېدل په خپل وخت باندې. دا د دې ولس و د دې امارت اسلامي په همغږۍ او په همکارۍ باندې د ټولو خلکو څخه مننه کوو چې زموږ سره په دې کار کې په دې اشتراک کې ګډون وکړي. تقریبا 80% خلک د 4 کال کېږي چې د ایران ته یا موږ دغه ملکیت تللي دي، یا ډېر کسانان د دې لپاره تللي دي چې هلته وګورو چې موږ په دې استراحتي زندګي وکړو. نو دوی کوشش دا کوي چې زموږ لپاره هلته زمینه برابره شي، د کار زمینه برابره شي، او هلته زموږ شلترونه یا کور لپاره ځایونه برابر شي. د دې غوښتنې تر ډېره حده پورې تر اوسه پورې خو دغه چې زموږ سره شریک کړي دي.
For Afghan women, the return home under Taliban rule presents an even darker reality. Since the Taliban's takeover in August 2021, women and girls have been barred from education, employment, and much of public life. For returnee women, especially those who had access to education or work abroad, the shift is traumatic and dehumanizing. Human rights organizations warn that without urgent intervention, the situation could spiral further. The mass influx of returnees has stretched Afghanistan's already strained resources in provinces like Herat and Nimroz. With the country already facing economic collapse, donor fatigue, and a ban on girls' secondary education, aid agencies warn of an impending breakdown. As Afghanistan reels under the weight of mass deportations and worsening repression, the country faces a critical juncture. With women stripped of rights, families torn apart, and border regions overwhelmed, the humanitarian crisis deepens daily. Without swift international intervention, billions risk being forgotten in the shadows of geopolitics, abandoned at the border, silenced at home, and left to navigate a future with no promises, no protections, and no path forward.